Was I going to get in trouble? You look.
I didn't look, but, but I read you as pretty weak.
It's hard not to read me as weak right now.
Paul Phillips still looking like he could use a couple of Xanax.
We take a look courtesy of the Amberbach pocket cam at Phil Hellmuth's hand of ace-jack. He calls. King 7 offsuit for Phillips.
Yeah, Phil chose not to raise with his ace-jack.
Flop comes ace-king 9.
Interesting. Paul has flopped second pair of kings. Phil Hellmuth has a pair of aces, and he didn't raise before the flop.
So after Phillips checked, Hellmuth bets out 3,000, and Phillips calls.
Paul probably thinks he has the best hand now.
Turns it 2 of spades, no help for Phillips.
Paul should put out a feeler bet here, find out where Phil is at. That's what he does. He bets 5,000.
And he gets his answer immediately as Hellmuth says he's all in.
What did he bet, 5? I know it's all in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Paul Phillips hasn't had a hand for quite a while. Those kings look mighty big. He's thinking, is Phil Hellmuth putting a move on me? He didn't raise before the flop.
Well, it looks like they're freaking nuts, but I guess you can take it.
Despite his antics earlier, Paul Phillips is still thinking clearly, throws the hand away.
It does look like they're nuts, though.
It was good if you had a king or a 7.
Yeah, well, I believe I was beat. Especially after you didn't show me. That's the spot where you gotta show the guy if he just.
Did you say the blinds are up?
Phil Hellmuth is all business here. He's not interested in engaging Paul Phillips anymore. Meanwhile, we've had a wild one at one of our outer tables where Sammy Farha, seated on the right, at one point had a chip lead of 70,000 to 10,000 over Hassan Habib.
Well, then Sammy's chip lead started to dwindle. Hassan won a series of all-ins. And that's what we're seeing here time and again, the nature of heads-up poker. One guy can be way ahead, but then his opponent can take the lead.
So as we pick up this match, Hassan has totally turned things around and now has a chip lead of 65,000 to 15,000 over Sammy. Farha with suited ace-10.
You can hear Hassan taunting him. There's been a lot of gamesmanship in this match.
And Sammy Farha's moving all in.
And Hassan looks at his cards for the first time, and he just happens to have ace-king.
And quickly calls.
And if no tens or spades come out on this hand, Hassan Habib from only $10,000 will come back and win the match.
Well, Sammy Farha's been in a spot like this before. We recall the classic match with Chris Moneymaker at the 2003 World Series where he finished runner-up. Flop comes out 3, king 8. Hassan Habib pairs his kings.
Things look pretty bad for Sammy. He needs 2 running tens or a combination to make a straight.
10-10.
There's one of the 10s.
There's the first 10. Stranger things have happened.
Sam, less than a 10, another 10.
Rivers a 4 of spades, however, and Hassan Habib has eliminated one of the crowd favorites. Sammy Farha sent packing after the second round. Hassan Habib moves on to the Sweet 16. We take you back to our featured table now, where Phil Hellmuth has established a chip lead over Paul Phillips of over 5-1.
I'm all in.
Phillips moving all in on his suited ace-8.
How much is it? Hold on. Let me just look. I might not even.
Phil has a jack-5 offsuit. It's a tough decision. On one hand, he doesn't want to double Paul Phillips up. On the other hand, he has a chance to knock him out. I think what could be going through Phil's mind is his 2 cards are probably live, the jack and the 5. And if Paul Phillips doesn't have that, doesn't have a pair, he's not that much of an underdog.
How much is in there? The blinds are 2,000, 4,000, right?
There's 8 in the middle. Yeah.
Shot, dang. It's 91.
You're getting worse than 2-1, Phil. Worse than 2-1.
Hellmuth calls.
And he's going to be happy. He has 2 live cards.
Jackson 5.
I'm glad you have a cute name for your stupid hand. Good luck. Thank you.
Phil calling for a jack or a 5. Flop comes Jack 8-9.
Phil has made a pair of jacks and Paul's made a pair of eights. Paul needs an ace or an 8. Otherwise, Phil's going to win this match.
Turns a 6 of spades.
Down to his last card. Paul Phillips needs an ace or an 8.
River's a king of hearts, and Phil Hellmuth is again able to run away from a guy that's been chasing him through poker rooms for years. Hellmuth advances.
Okay, so if I beat you, this is what I was going to show.
Paul Phillips had a Kill
Since I
Phil
lost, you guys can't see it.
t-shirt
You
on.
can show that one to the camera, though.
Somebody call and apologize to Tarantino's people. So Phil Hellmuth advances to the round of 16 by eliminating Paul Phillips, and Lindsay Czarniak is with the winner.
Phil, congratulations on your win. You had a very animated conversation after your first win with Men Win, and then again here tonight. Tell me, what is this energy that brings this out of?
Paul Phillips and I had a fun conversation the whole night. Actually, we got along really well, and he didn't try any BS. He didn't really try to attack me verbally, you know. And if he would have, I was prepared to deal with that.
Well, Paul's there cackling at the end. I mean, that's got to get to you a little bit.
Not really. I mean, I expected that from Paul, and yeah, when he was cackling and jumping out of his seat, I was like, When he's doing this stuff, that's why I go into like a Zen trance, play great poker, play great poker, play great poker, and just, I don't even see him, hear him, anything. Play great poker, play great poker, play great, and that's what's going through my head. You know, because I know that no matter all the cackling he does, it doesn't matter. I still have to play great poker.
Congratulations.
And instead of the All In Magazine play of the day, it's the exchange of the day.
Hey, Phil, you know, when they asked me on TV, I said you were the favorite in this match. I wasn't just saying it. I believe it. No kidding. Phil can't actually enjoy that compliment, though. He has to act like it's self-apparent. Well,
Of course it's apparent. I mean, I've won 9 World Series races. I'm sure a lot of guys would think you're the favorite.
So Phil Hellmuth advances in the Hearts bracket along with Lyle Berman, Carlos Mortensen, and Huck Seed. 3 of the 4 world champions are in the Hearts bracket. In the Diamonds bracket, Ted Forrest, Antonio Esfandiari, David Slansky, and Scott Fishman advance. In the Clubs bracket, it's Greenstein versus Juanda and Cloutier versus Hennigan. And finally, for the Spades, Mimi Tran plays Chris Ferguson, and Mike Sexton takes on Hassan Habib. We've seen fantastic action in the round of 32.
We sure have, Matt. That match between Paul Phillips and Phil Hellmuth was one of the most bizarre poker events I've ever seen.
In Heads Up, anything can happen. And as the National Heads Up Poker Championship continues, next week we look forward to hitting the round of 16. That's when Phil Hellmuth will match up against his old friend Huck Seed. And Hold'em specialist Ted Forrest battles Antonio Esfandiari. For Lindsay Czarniak and Gabe Kaplan, this is Matt Vasgersian thanking you for joining us on the National Heads Up Poker Championship.